Hey everybody, welcome back. Jason with Ben's Woodworking, and today I'm gonna attempt to show you how to make something. So it's my first attempt at making a video on how to do something, so it's probably gonna suck, but we're gonna give it a shot anyway. Let's talk different styles of doors. So the video that I'm gonna show you today is how to make a very simple shaker style door. Personally, I prefer shaker style doors because of just how simple the design is and how clean and plain they look. Raised panel doors, not a big fan of. If somebody wants them made, I'm gonna make them, but typically, for the most part, I make shaker style doors. And I was very nervous and hesitant about making shaker style doors early on. But then I started tinkering around in the shop, watched a few videos, and found out an easy way to do it. So today I'm gonna show you just how you can make those shaker style doors if all you have is just a table saw. So to make these shaker style doors, you're gonna need a few things. First thing you're gonna need is your stiles. Stiles are the side pieces that run vertically. The rails, which run horizontally on the top and bottom. And then you're gonna need whatever material you're gonna use for your panel. So for this demonstration, this is simply a demonstration video. I'm only going to use pine for my stiles and rails from some scraps I had laying around. And then I'm gonna use 1/4 inch MDF. And typically this is actually, if I'm gonna make a shaker style door, this is actually what I tend to use the most. I just like it, it's a good material and it paints very well. I like my material to be 3/4 of an inch thick when I'm working with these type of doors. Typically, that is the only thickness that I use. So what I want is 3/4 of an inch, so I know that I can have a 1/4 of an inch down in the center, and then I'll have a 1/4 inch remaining on each side. So the first thing I like to do is start with the stiles. The stiles, I want to determine how tall it's going to be. So if my door is going to be 20 inches tall, I cut my stiles to 20 inches. Then I take into consideration the width that I want each side. Typically, I will usually cut my door panels to 2.5 inches on each side. So you got 2.5 inches here, 2.5 inches here, making 5 inches. Now, when we're talking about the width, it's important to take into consideration the amount of wood that is going to go into the stile itself from the rail. In this case, it's going to be 3/8 of an inch on each end. And if you notice, I've already got it marked 3/8 of an inch on each end, the part that's going to be cut. That's an important consideration because when you cut that part off and you slide it into the stile itself, you're essentially taking 3/4 of an inch off of this total distance. So whenever you cut your rails, always make them whatever the additional length is that's actually going to go into the boards itself. For these stiles, there will be a groove that is cut all the way down that is 3/8 of an inch deep. When I go to determine the size of my panel, I want to make sure that it's the same width as my rails. Because after we cut off these pieces on the ends that are going to slide into the stiles here, we want to make sure that there's a portion of it left on the panel to also do the same thing and slide in to the stiles. In terms of how much it's going to go in the top and bottom, same rule applies as down here. So we want to make sure that this goes 3/8 of an inch into this. We want to make sure it goes 3/8 of an inch into the top. So we're basically going to take whatever this measurement is here, the internal measurement from the top of this rail to the bottom of this rail, whatever this measurement is here, and we're going to add 3/4 of an inch. That way, it will ensure that once we close up the frame, it goes around the edges of this panel. So now that we have all the boring stuff out of the way, let's move over to the table saw and start making cuts. Now that I know my blade is 3/8 of an inch high, it's time for me to go ahead and cut the grooves on the stiles and rails in order to accept the panel. So what I'm going to do, I started off with 3/4 inch material. So I know that I need to set my fence 1/4 of an inch away from the blade. And when I cut my stiles and rails, I know that I'll have 1/4 inch left over on each side. So now that we have the grooves cut and the stiles and rails, it's time to go ahead and take off that end portion so therefore it can fit into the stiles and we can go ahead and start assembling our cabinet door. Now that we've made all the cuts, it's time to go ahead and start putting it together. All right, everybody, so there it is, shaker style door. As you can see in the video, very simple to do, very quick. If you're looking to make some sort of cabinet style door for whether it's a cabinet or a built-in or whatever you have in the house and you like the design, the very simple design of a shaker style door, I urge you to give that a try and you'll find that it's very easy. It is not intimidating at all. And from there you can go into other different types of doors. You can even run this through a router table to round off the edges, or you can just take some sandpaper and cut the edges up to make them nice and smooth so they're not so sharp if that's the look that you prefer. Again, very easy to do and very cost effective. As always, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Just let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what you like, what you don't like, or maybe give me some ideas for future videos. And again, this was definitely my first attempt at making a video that explains step-by-step procedures on how to make something. Yes, it's a very simple shaker style door, but not everybody's experts at making shaker style doors. So more to come in the future, we'll see how it goes. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. Look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.